Hey guys, Matt here, and today I have got probably the project that I have been most excited about for all of this year. I'm not even gonna read. I'm just gonna reload. This is our second ever release of the Merchant Blender series, and the idea behind the Merchant Blender series was that it was American whiskeys from craft distillers, artfully blended together to try all kinds of experiments. So our main person that we do this with is the Huber family, Ted Huber from Starlight, Indiana, near Borden in southern Indiana. Ted's family, he has been down there for 7 generations. They're very successful farmers. They're fully loaded. They've got money, and they love whiskey, so they are perfectly set up to do these amazing projects because barrel expense, experimentation, all of that's just happening right now in a very natural way that a big company only driven by profits would say no to a lot of these things. But these barrels exist there, and they are gems and they are jewels, and really the inspiration behind being able to put together Merchant Blender and hand pick casks from the hundreds, thousands of casks that they have and they've been experimenting with for many, many years as sort of the premier craft distiller in the country. Put these together in this brand, and that's what Merchant Blender is. We've done a red label release, which was great. 4 very different barrels combined together. This is our yellow label, or I guess you'd probably say brown label release of a whiskey that we've called Pleasuredome. Pleasuredome is a Coleridge reference to a poem. You can look that up. But what this is 4 Seguin Moreau barrels. So just real quick, Seguin Moreau, let's say a regular bourbon barrel cost a distillery $150. Seguin Moreau barrel is going to start around $1,200. So already the expense is phenomenal, and you couldn't do this with a large-scale production whiskey. Then we combine those, so those are all number 1, 2, 3, and 4 char. So you get the full spectrum of char with the Seguin Moreau barrels. Then to that we add 2 independent stave barrels with a number 4 plus distiller's char, but instead of being kiln dried staves, those staves are actually air dried for a full 2 years. So they age the barrel 2 years in stave form before they get a number 4 heavy char, and then the whiskey goes into it. So what is the result of combining these? These are all 85% rye recipe in what is essentially 5 different barrels, 6 total barrels, which we then regauged into 6 freshly dumped Starlight brandy barrels and left to finish for just a nice 60-day time period. Just to top it off with a little bit of sweetness, brought out at 109 barrel strength with no dilution, non-chill filtered. So that's the Pleasuredome. It's the most expressive, fun, interesting, intellectual, visceral rye project that we've ever done, and I couldn't be happier with it because it's just cool as hell. I'm gonna smell it and taste it now. All kinds of oak spice on the nose, so it's very oak driven, but it's not woody. You also get kind of a big hit of like brown sugar, molasses, toffee, caramel notes as well on the nose. Not a lot of fruit. This is like sugar umami is the best way I can describe it. We'll get to that here in a minute, but this reminds me of some of the older school Old Forester single barrels that we used to get that just had this gorgeous big fat brown sugar nose to it. Look at that. Look at that color. That's beautiful. All right, let's try the whiskey. The weight of that brown sugar. I mean, if there really ever was like a whiskey umami, that weighty sensation of like brown sugar, coffee, toffee, caramel, leather. Oh God, that is it right there on the mid palate, and then changes to oak spice, and then just comes back to that sweetness. Great, great, great freaking whiskey. Wow. Really, I just cannot be happier with this. As far as the rarity level, you know, we're the only ones doing this, so you're not going to see this anywhere else. Grab as many as you can, because this is a one-off project. Once Pleasuredome is gone, it is gone forever. We're going to move on to another one. I love this Merchant Blender brand. I love this project. I love experimenting with this, and I think we're really going to start making, and I think starting here especially, some of the coolest experimental American craft whiskeys to be released in the country. Simple fact that we have access to it. This is just a gorgeous project, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, and I'm so happy to bring this whiskey to market. So, cheers.